Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Cup English. I'm Liam.
And I'm Chloe. Thanks for spending a little part of your day with us.
Whether you're listening in the morning, during a break, or late at night, we're really happy you're here.
Yes, and before we start, just a quick reminder, if you enjoy our conversations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow Daily Cup English.
We post new podcast episodes every day with real-life English conversations to help you improve naturally.
No pressure, no difficult grammar explanations, just real English, real topics, and real feelings.
Exactly. Our goal is to help you feel more confident when you listen, think, and speak in English.
And today's topic is, honestly, a very personal one.
Yeah, it's something many of us deal with even if we don't talk about it openly.
So, if you've ever felt tired, confused, or stuck because of other people's opinions,
This episode is for you. So today, we're talking about Stop Living for Others' Expectations.
that title alone already feels heavy, right?
It does, but it's also very real.
I think almost everyone has lived part of their life trying to meet someone else's expectations.
Parents, teachers, friends, bosses, even people we don't know very well.
Sometimes even strangers on social media.
True. And the strange thing is, we often don't notice it at first.
Yeah, it feels normal. You think, this is just how life works.
You follow the path that seems safe, the path people say is right.
But then one day you stop and ask yourself, wait, is this really what I want?
And that question can be uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable, because if the answer is no, then what?
Exactly. And just to be clear, we're not saying expectations are always bad.
No, not at all. Some expectations come from love and care.
But the problem starts when you lose your own voice.
When your decisions are based more on fear of disappointing others than on what feels right for you.
That's when living becomes exhausting.
You smile, you agree, you say yes all the time.
But inside, you feel tired or even empty.
In today's episode, we want to talk about this honestly.
No perfect answers, no judging.
Just two people sharing thoughts, experiences, and questions.
And hopefully helping you reflect on your own life too.
So let's start simple, Liam.
All right.
When you hear the phrase living for others' expectations, what comes to mind first?
When I hear that phrase, I think about quiet pressure. Not always someone telling you directly what to do, but this feeling that you should do something.
Yeah, like an invisible rule.
Exactly. No one says it out loud, but you still feel it.
I agree. For me, others' expectations show up in very normal situations. For example, when people ask, "So, what do you do?" and you feel like your answer needs to sound impressive.
Oh, yes. That question carries a lot of weight.
It does. And suddenly, your job is not just your job anymore. It becomes your value.
And if your life doesn't match what people expect at your age or in your position, you feel behind.
Or like you failed, even if you're actually okay.
I think expectations often come from family first.
Definitely. Parents usually want what they think is best for you.
A stable job, a safe life, a clear path.
And that comes from love, but it can still feel heavy.
Then there's society.
Yeah, society has a timeline for everything.
Graduate at this age, get a job by that age, get married, buy a house, have kids.
And if your life doesn't follow that order, people start asking questions.
Sometimes they're just curious.
But sometimes it feels like judgment.
And then there are expectations from friends.
That one is tricky.
Very. Because friends usually don't mean to pressure you.
But you still feel like you need to keep up.
If everyone around you is moving fast, achieving things, posting successes,
You start comparing, even if you don't want to.
and suddenly your own pace feels wrong.
I think that's the most dangerous part, when you stop trusting your own timing.
Yeah, when your life becomes a reaction to other people's lives.
And you don't even ask yourself what you actually want anymore.
That's when expectations stop being helpful and start controlling you.
So, Liam, did you ever feel like you were living more for others than for yourself?
Honestly, yes, for a long time.
What did that look like for you?
For me, it was mostly about work. After college, I chose a career that sounded right.
Not something you really wanted.
Not exactly. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either.
You chose it because it was safe.
Safe, respected, and easy to explain to people.
That last part is interesting.
Yeah, when people asked what I did, I liked seeing them nod, like, oh, that makes sense.
So their reaction mattered to you.
More than I realized at the time. I felt proud, not because I was happy, but because others approved.
How did that make you feel after a while?
Tired. I started feeling disconnected from myself.
Disconnected how?
I woke up every day doing things I was supposed to do, but I didn't feel excited. I didn't feel curious.
Just going through the motions.
Exactly. And the strange thing is, from the outside, everything looked fine.
Good job, stable life.
Yeah, people would say, "You're doing great," and I would smile and say thanks.
But inside,
Inside, I felt like I was slowly disappearing.
that's a strong feeling.
It is. I wasn't unhappy all the time, but I wasn't fully alive either.
Did you realize what was happening right away?
No, it took a long time. I just thought I was being ungrateful or lazy.
That's common.
I kept telling myself, this is what adults do. You don't have to love your job.
But something didn't sit right.
Yeah. One day I asked myself, if no one cared what I did, what would I choose?
That's a powerful question.
It scared me, actually, because I didn't know the answer at first.
And that silence says a lot.
It does. It showed me how long I had ignored my own voice.
I think many listeners will relate to that.
I hope so, because realizing it is the first step.
Hearing you talk about that, Liam, really hits close to home for me.
Yeah? In what way?
I think my experience was a little different, but the feeling was the same. For me, it wasn't only about work. It was about people-pleasing.
Trying to make everyone happy?
Exactly. I grew up believing that being a good person meant not disappointing anyone.
That's a heavy belief to carry.
It is. I would say yes even when I wanted to say no. I would agree even when I had a different opinion.
Because you didn't want to cause conflict.
Yes, I was afraid of tension, afraid of being seen as difficult or selfish.
So what did that look like in daily life?
Small things at first, helping when I was already tired, changing my plans for others.
That sounds familiar.
And then bigger things, career choices, relationships, even how I spoke or dressed.
Wow.
I was always asking myself, what will people think, instead of, what do I feel?
Did you notice when it started to hurt you?
Yes, I started feeling resentful.
Resentful toward others?
At first, yes, but later I realized I was really angry at myself.
Because you weren't being honest.
Exactly. People didn't force me. I chose to please them.
That's a hard realization.
It is. I remember one moment very clearly.
What happened?
A close friend asked me for a big favor. I didn't have the energy or time, but I said yes anyway.
And how did you feel?
I went home and cried, not because of the favor, but because I felt invisible to myself.
That's powerful.
That's when I understood something was wrong. Living for others was slowly breaking my connection with who I was.
I think this is where things get complicated, because not all expectations are bad.
I agree. Some expectations help us grow.
Like a teacher expecting you to try your best.
Or a friend encouraging you to take care of yourself.
Those expectations come with support, not pressure.
Exactly. Healthy expectations still leave room for choice.
Unhealthy ones don't.
They make you feel trapped.
Or guilty when you choose differently.
That's a big sign. If saying no makes you feel like a bad person, something is wrong.
Healthy expectations allow conversation.
You can explain yourself without fear.
But unhealthy expectations feel like rules.
Rules you never agreed to.
And often no one even clearly says them.
You just feel them in reactions, silence, disappointment, comparison.
And then you start changing yourself to avoid that feeling.
That's when expectations become control.
I think a good question to ask is, do I feel supported or pressured?
Yes, support gives you energy. Pressure drains it.
And if you're always drained, that's a message.
A message worth listening to, because living your whole life tired is not success.
It's survival. And I think many people confuse the two.
That's why this topic matters so much. You know, Liam, something I've noticed is that many people don't even realize they're living for others.
Yeah, it doesn't always feel obvious.
So maybe it's helpful to talk about some signs.
Definitely. One big sign for me was overthinking every decision.
Overthinking how?
Before doing anything, I would ask myself, what will people say? Will this look bad? Will they understand?
Instead of asking if it felt right to you.
Exactly. Another sign was struggling to say no.
That's a big one.
Even when I was tired or busy, I felt uncomfortable refusing.
Because you didn't want to disappoint anyone.
Yes, and when I did say no, I felt guilty for days.
That guilt is very telling.
What about you? What signs did you notice?
For me, it was constantly explaining myself.
Explaining your choices?
Yes, I felt like every decision needed a reason that others would accept.
Like your own reason wasn't enough.
Exactly. If people didn't agree, I started doubting myself.
That self-doubt can grow really fast.
It does. Another sign was feeling relief when plans got canceled.
Oh, wow, that's very honest.
When someone canceled, I felt free, and that made me ask, why wasn't I excited in the first place?
That's such an important question.
I think if you often feel tired after social situations, not physically but emotionally,
That's another sign.
because you're performing, not being yourself.
You're acting in a way that feels acceptable, not authentic.
And over time, that performance becomes exhausting.
You start losing touch with what you actually want.
And when someone asks, what do you want? You don't know how to answer.
So if living for others is so tiring, why is it so hard to stop?
Fear. That's the first word that comes to my mind.
Fear of what?
Fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, fear of losing people.
Yeah, many of us are afraid that if we change, people will leave.
Or they'll think we're selfish, especially if you've always been the nice one.
Yes, when you change, people notice.
And not everyone is comfortable with that.
Another reason is habit.
Living for others becomes normal.
You do it so long that you forget there's another way.
It feels safer to follow expectations than to question them.
Because questioning means uncertainty, and uncertainty is scary.
Also, many of us were taught that putting ourselves first is wrong.
Yeah, we hear words like selfish or ungrateful.
So choosing yourself feels like breaking a rule, even when that rule is hurting you.
And let's be honest, approval feels good.
It does.
Yeah.
Being praised, being accepted, being liked.
Those feelings are addictive.
So stepping away from them takes courage.
And patience.
Because change doesn't happen overnight.
But understanding why it's hard already helps.
It makes you more gentle with yourself.
And less judgmental.
Which is exactly what we need when we start choosing differently.
I think this is an important moment to say something. Stopping living for others doesn't mean making one big dramatic decision.
Yes, I'm really glad you said that.
Because when people hear this topic, they sometimes think, I need to quit my job or I need to cut people out of my life.
And that can feel overwhelming.
Very overwhelming. But in reality, change often starts very small.
For me, it started with noticing my feelings.
Noticing them how?
Just asking myself simple questions. Do I actually want to do this? How do I feel right now?
Without judging the answer.
Exactly. Sometimes the answer was uncomfortable, but it was honest.
For me, the first change was giving myself more time before saying yes.
That's a great one.
Instead of answering immediately, I started saying, let me think about it.
That small pause makes a big difference.
It really does. It creates space for your own voice.
Another small change for me was allowing myself to change my mind.
That's not easy.
No, because we're taught to be consistent, but consistency shouldn't cost your happiness.
I like that.
I also stopped explaining everything.
That's huge.
Yeah, Not every decision needs a long story.
Sometimes this doesn't work for me is enough,
Exactly. Small changes like these don't shock your life.
but they slowly build self-trust.
And that trust is what helps you make bigger choices later.
Let's talk about boundaries, because that word scares a lot of people.
Yes, people often think boundaries mean pushing others away.
But really, boundaries are about clarity.
They show where you end and someone else begins.
For a long time, I thought having boundaries meant being cold.
I thought the same.
But now I see it differently,
Me too. Boundaries actually make relationships healthier.
because resentment grows when boundaries don't exist.
Exactly. If you always say yes but feel angry inside, something is wrong.
Setting a boundary can be very simple.
Like saying, I can't do this today.
Or, I need some time for myself.
You don't need to sound angry.
You don't need to apologize too much.
And you don't need to feel guilty for having limits.
That guilt is often a sign you're changing.
Yes, guilt doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong.
Sometimes it just means you're doing something new.
And people may react differently.
Some will respect your boundaries,
Others might not.
but how someone reacts tells you more about them than about you.
Learning that was very freeing for me.
For me too.
Boundaries aren't walls.
They're doors with rules.
I love that way of saying it.
And once you start respecting your own boundaries,
You teach others how to respect you too. I think this is a good moment to slow down a little.
yeah, if you're listening right now, maybe take a breath.
You don't need to change anything immediately.
Just listen and maybe reflect.
Ask yourself quietly, who am I living for right now?
And there's no right or wrong answer.
Another gentle question could be, where in my life do I feel the most pressure?
Pressure often shows us where expectations live.
And then maybe ask, what would change if I allowed myself to be more honest?
Not with everyone, just with yourself first.
You don't have to become a completely different person,
You don't have to disappoint people on purpose.
but you do deserve a life that feels like yours.
A life where your choices come from understanding, not fear.
And if this topic feels emotional for you, that's okay.
It usually means something important is touching the surface.
Be patient with that feeling.
Growth is quiet most of the time.
And choosing yourself often happens in small, invisible moments.
Moments where you listen instead of ignore.
Moments where you pause instead of rush.
Those moments matter more than we think.
So, to gently wrap up today's conversation,
Stopping living for others' expectations doesn't mean rejecting people.
it means reconnecting with yourself,
It means letting your life reflect who you truly are.
not who you're trying to prove yourself to be.
And remember, you're allowed to change.
You're allowed to grow.
And you're allowed to choose your own path, even if it looks different.
If today's episode made you think or feel a little less alone,
We'd love for you to stay connected with us.
don't forget to subscribe to Daily Cup English.
And follow the podcast to listen to our daily English conversations.
Every day we share real topics, real voices, and real life English.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
Take care of yourself.
And remember, you don't need permission to be yourself.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow here on Daily Cup English.